Welcome to the Eagle Eye Podcast, the #1 show to bring you all things Club America in English. Your host for today, Ivan Pineda, Christian Rosendo, and everyone's favorite cowboy, Dylan Jimenez. Let's start the show.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Eagle Eye Podcast. Welcome to our CONCACAF Champions League edition of today. I'm going to be breaking down everything you guys need to know ahead of the game against Atlanta United tomorrow. Plus, we'll give our kind of hot takes in regards to this competition and how far we see America getting into this tournament. We'll talk team news, transfer updates, transfer rumors, and everything in between, and get you guys all caught up with all things Las Águilas del América. But before I go any further in today's episode, as always, let me introduce my co-host. It is Brooklyn's very own AJ and New York's favorite resident, Christian Rosendo. Gentlemen, how are we tonight?
I'm doing okay. Just dealing with finals right now in college. So, yeah, but other than that, feeling pretty good.
All right. Nice to hear that. Christian, how are we?
Good evening to both of you. I'm doing pretty good. Same thing as AJ, dealing with finals. Snowstorm coming for us tomorrow, AJ. Hope you're ready for that.
I'm ready.
But no, just overall excited to be back talking about Club America after our very bitter exit from the Liguilla. And yeah, like you said, Ivan, I think we should have a very good conversation tonight on this tournament and how America will do.
Definitely. And we got a couple of people already saying hello to us. We have our good friend Maria from Chicago over there. Hello, Maria. Again, showing us again right here from YouTube.
Septile. Pokemon.
Septile. There you go. Septile saying hello to us as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's get into it. Christian, let's talk about the news, updates, and everything surrounding in and around the world of Coapa. We'll get into the Champions League a little bit further in today's episode, but I think we left off in a pretty big question mark surrounding this team and as to what was going to happen. We'll have team news updates. We'll have injury reports. We'll have people that actually traveled to Orlando for this competition a little bit later on. But talk to us a little bit more about the world of America, Christian. What have you been hearing in the transfer rumor mill? Any updates that you have to kind of, kick the show off with?
Yeah, sure. So, first of all, thank you for everyone for joining us tonight. I know it's a little bit late of a start, but let's get right into it, Ivan. Well, first things first. I don't think we mentioned it last time we were here. But as everyone knows already, Paulo Aguilar is no longer a part of Club America. I want to get your reactions, actually, Ivan. How do you feel about this? Because, for the last part of Paulo's career here at America, it wasn't really that good, but I think people seem to forget what he brought to us when he first came here. So reactions on that.
Definitely. But right before I get to that, I just we have a lot more people saying hello.
Yes, I know. Thank you, everyone.
Chris Rivera, Jose Sepulveda, what is up, everybody? Kevin Perez. Everyone out here today, thank you so much for tuning in and saying hello. Keep on sending out your comments, guys. We're gonna have you guys show it on the screen, and definitely would love to keep interacting with you guys. But Christian, going back to your question, yes, and it was a little bit of a shocker. I would have imagined that he would have stayed maybe at least for the end of the CONCACAF Champions, maybe then talk about a leave either in the summer or potentially in the winter, like he eventually ended up doing. But it is kind of a bittersweet goodbye because Paulo Aguilar, I think it will, for my liking, should go down in history as the best right back that America has seen. What he brought to the club, 10 years with this institution, X amount of titles, X amount of championships. Such a crucial player for the Mexican national team as well. He will go down in history once all of this kind of, bitter moment of tension between him and the club goes away. He will go down in history as probably one of the best players to ever play with America. And a lot of people right now will definitely take that as a hot take and maybe think that I'm completely gone crazy. But I think if you sit back and you look at what he's done, his trajectory, it's been definitely something phenomenal and something to applaud to, really. I think, the soccer fan has such a short memory, and I've said this time
100%.
that we forget everything that he had done prior to this tournament, because whenever he got on the pitch, he looked slow, he looked out of place. Even last season too, he just looked a little bit off. And the criticism kept flowing and everything kept going at him and such negativity. But at the end of the day, you step away from it and you got to applaud this man because he gave so much for this institution, which does hurt me a little bit that he had to go out the way that he did.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with you there. A lot of people seem to forget he was basically one of the main pillars in winning, our championships we did in this decade. And like you said, Ivan, definitely bittersweet for me as well. So that was probably the biggest departure we had. I don't think we got to it last time either, but also we welcomed a new member, Mauro Lainez. AJ, reactions on Mauro Lainez joining Club America?
Pretty excited actually. As much people's like, why did we bring some dude who is mostly known for spending his time more in the Ascenso than the Liga MX? And as you know, the name itself, he's the older brother of Diego Lainez. Hearing this, I was just like, I got hopes in him. People complain that we wanted, a bombazo. We want like a bigger samba. Me, I might get a lot of criticism. I was like, I'll take what we can get. Yes, it's not the best play that we can get there, but if there's a spot where I feel like reinforcement was much needed on the left-hand side, because we see time and time again, even from Ivan himself, he hates Cordova on the left side with the burning passion. So even you, so just to see Lainez, it's like we could finally see Cordova probably play in the cam position. For my Lainez, he does have something going. There was a point in time, I'm mistaken, he did get called up for the Mexico national team. But to see that, he made his way into America, he got the saludos from Diego Lainez as well, from his younger brother, saying, wishing him the best of luck in everything with this team. And and some people, they're welcoming him with open hands, saying, welcome to the biggest team in Mexico. And we hope to just see him excel in America. So for me, I'm quite excited for him and see what he can do in this team.
Yeah, no, definitely. Everyone in the comments below, thank you again for joining, and let me know your reactions on Mauro Lainez joining America. Now let's talk transfer rumors, which I know everyone loves to hear these rumors, right? Let's start with the big one here. Alan Medina. Negotiations were going well, as everyone knows, and there was a point in time where it was just signatures away. Unfortunately, though, I don't know what was going on in the directiva of Toluca. But for some reason, they seem to very value Alan Medina a lot now. And, they were asking for, an exchange of players. America offered this player. They didn't really accept. They really wanted Gio. America wasn't really willing to give up Gio at this moment. So now they put a price tag. That price tag is around rumored to be $7 million. For a player who is just coming off a serious injury, not the best, season, $7 million seems like a steep price to pay. I don't think right now America is willing to pay that price. So Alan Medina, that was a signature away from becoming a Club America player, is getting further and further away from the institution as as hours go by. Could that change? Of course it can. This is the world of soccer, and anything at any given moment it can change. But for right now, I can say to you guys that Alan Medina is further away from Club America than he was about a week ago at this time. So that's it with that. Another, I guess, kind of big name surrounding Club America is Marcel Ruiz, another player who was right there. The talks were going good. The player wants to come. The Piojo wants him ever since last season, and it looked like things were going in a good way. It's just, Tijuana thinks that this is a gem. They know the value that he can bring to a team. So they're listening to more offers. He's not out of the picture just yet. But there are other teams interested in him, and it seems that other teams are willing to give up more for him. That's not saying that America won't get him. It's just America might have to, spice things up a little bit to see if they can land him. That's the latest with that. Same thing with Fabian Castillo, another player who was literally a signature away from joining, and then something just happened, and America just can't close out the deal. And those talks are kind of at a stalemate. They're not advancing, but they're not going backwards. So I guess that's the only positive you can take away from the Fabian Castillo saga. So that's it with all the Tijuana players, I guess, in a sense. Now let's move on to another news that broke out, I want to say 3 days ago, maybe. It's the deal we have, or possibly have, with Tigres in exchange of Andres Ibargüen to Tigres, and then in return, America will get Luis Quiñones. Both of you, Ivan, we'll start with you. Who wins in this deal, America or Tigres, if it were to happen? And I'll let you guys know in a minute how those are going.
Okay. So I'll let you know right there. I just want to, show Nacho Jimenez's comment here saying, I just want to stop suffering from all these transfer talks. You and me both, Nacho. You and me both. But yeah, it seems that in this case, I think Tigres loses out a little bit more. I think Quinones has been more proven in the league. I mean, yes, he's a little older, and I think we do lose out in that aspect, but I think we do get a little bit of a better quality player. I mean, yes, he hasn't been as consistent as Tigres fans would want him to be, and I think you can say that about his career most of the time. And here in the Liga MX, is he's had some bright sparks, just never really has had that consistency. So I think at the end of the day, both teams lose out because they both end up moving players to the teams that have the same issue as each other, right? Quinones and Ibargüen both have the problem that they're very talented, they're very explosive, but at the end of the day, they're very lazy and sometimes just don't want to show up in games where they should be. So they're very inconsistent in that sense. And hopefully, if America does end up going through with this deal and we do get Quinones, that he comes in, understands the responsibility, and Piojo can get the best out of him. I think that would be important. But AJ, I don't know, what's your thought on this?
Just looking up statistics is always interesting. That point that just sticks out. But I feel like Luis Quinones would be a good sign for America if this does happen. I feel like America would be winning in this case. I feel like on Ezekiel Barco, he had his time. He had some bright moments, but I just feel like he just never get any consistent going. Where that's either due to injury, not getting the opportunities that are given to him, or in games where we do give him the opportunity, I feel like he just doesn't come out big as we expected. While Quinones, on the other hand, as you mentioned before, there were times where Tigres fans expect a lot from him, and he didn't really provide the explosiveness that people expected. He did provide lots of assists, but then when you see him go into loan to other teams, one team in particular in Toluca, when I did see him play from time to time, he looked really explosive. He's just able to bring the pace that I feel like America's been missing on the wings. He can create plays, and just all in all, I feel like if he does happen to come to America, it'd be a big sign for us, and I feel like in this case, we would win if we do happen to secure Luis Quinones, and if we do happen to give, honestly, Barco to Tigres. I mean, hope they can do something with them. But I feel like, in this case, just look for America. We get Quinones. I feel like he'd slot into that position, or if not, as a backup, he could do things from off the bench from the get-go, and I feel like he'd be a good reinforcer for this team.
Okay, good opinions on both. So in terms of this, these negotiations, they're still ongoing. There's definitely interest on both sides, and they're both positive. So it's just the matter of time of the next couple of days to see how both teams end up doing in the remainder of the Champions League. And then negotiations will continue afterwards. But that seems like one of the more likely ones to happen. So we'll just have to wait and see. Let's get into these small little rumors that I think it's good to talk about them, kind of just dismiss them or see if there's any truth to them. The first one we'll talk about is Pedro Aquino from León. People are saying that, he's rumored to come to America, saying there's an offer. Number one, there is no offer for Pedro Aquino. Two, yes, he was spotted yesterday in the Ciudad, but that was only because I think he needed to have a flight to Peru. So the only way you could do that is by going to La Ciudad. So that's that reason. I don't think it happens. Even though he didn't renew his contract, I don't think that's a player America would go forward with. Another one is Jesus Angulo from Atlas. This is one where we don't know yet because well, first we'll talk about El Hueso Reyes, and how he is 99% sure leaving Club America after the Champions League to go to Atlas. Now, within that negotiation, it is rumored that there's going to be an exchange of players, and Jesus Angulo seems to be the one rumored to come to America. This I can believe this one, and it seems likely to happen only because Jesus Angulo was not rumored not only for this season but for last season as well. So there might be some truth to this. We have to wait and see. But just quick thoughts, Jesus Angulo, would it be a good addition, or you guys really think it doesn't really matter?
I'll go first. I feel like that would be the case. I feel like youth is kind of needed because when we're looking at the left back spot, it does not look so great. Fuentes this season, mixed opinions, not really the best. Luis Reyes, I had no clue what happened to him. He went to San Luis, did great, probably was one of the best left backs in that season during the time before COVID happened. Come back to America. I don't even think he really even played much. If not, I think he played no games this season. So I feel like to get someone like Brian Angulo in return who can play as a left back, is young, played a lot of Atlas games, I think that'd be a good deal in return. And besides, where Luis Reyes came from, he came from Atlas before he signed to America. Atlas know how Luis Reyes plays, and I feel like he was one of the best players in that squad, so they have to just get him back. I mean, sure, we'll take him. We get a young player in return, and considering that he's young, and if he can, and with seeing that the amount of minutes that he's played in Atlas and with those stats, I think he could slot right in the left back position. I feel like that'd be a good deal for us. And me, I feel we'd win in this case if that's the case. We get a young player, and they get some dude that's already almost in his 30s. So.
I agree with AJ. I think Angulo would be a good fit. Would definitely be something that we need, and could prove to be another kind of gem of a signing like George has been.
Definitely.
I do want to come into some of these comments because I think
of course, go for it.
Good stuff. One, going back with what Jimmy was saying, Angulo would be would fit perfect. I think we're all in agreement there. This was interesting too. Whatever happened to Gornash?
Injured a lot of a lot of injuries with the kid. It sucks because I kind of want to see him play with the first team, see what he's got. This is a player when he came. Well, when I first heard of him, I always thought it would be cool to have him in America, and now we finally do. But we've never seen him with the first team, so hoping for him to get some minutes in the next season because he wasn't even called up for the Champions League. So it's a kid that deals with a lot of injuries, so hopefully we get to see him next season.
Definitely. And going back into this whole Atlas rumor mill of America and everything going on in there, Chris Rivera has a question. He says, what is the possibility of Luciano Acosta coming to America? If also is added to that deal, 2 players for Luciano seems possible.
Possible, but America doesn't know how to negotiate, so don't count on it.
Pain.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I don't ever see the directors pulling something off.
Yeah,
that's simple.
That's probably the best player other than informed Renato Ibarra. So yeah. I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, I don't think that will happen either. Definitely. One more comment here. I just want to say, RDG said, digas lo que digas, mis águilas ganan mañana 2-1 y pues global 5-1. We'll get into that a little bit later in regards to the CONCACAF Champions League. But again, thank you so much to everyone that is interacting, that is talking to us right now in the comments and everything, whether it's Periscope, YouTube, whatever the case may be. Keep sending us your guys' comments. We'll keep throwing them on the screen, and we'll keep interacting with you guys. All right, take it away, Christian. Any more rumors that we have to address or anything more concrete?
For right now, that'll be it for now. Obviously, guys, if you want to keep up with every single rumor surrounding Club America, follow us at Eagle Eye Podcast. I am literally on there 25/8, trying to update everybody on these rumors. I know a lot of people want to know accurate information, correct information, not just false rumors. So I try to do my best to kind of keep you guys updated with that and not have it get lost within all these silly rumors that appear once in a while. Let me answer that one question right there, Ivan. Leo Fernandez. Leo Fernandez is definitely an interest of Club America and about every other team in the league. After
expensive.
After what Tigres did to him, he is definitely not happy. But in Tigres, they're very firm that he will be an important piece for them next season. So they set a ridiculous price tag for him that pretty much no one can pay other than pretty much Monterrey, and I don't think Monterrey wants him. So yeah, Leo Fernandez, not this season. Next season, we'll talk more about it, but don't count on it.
Definitely. And you know what? I don't think we were coming into this clausura thinking that there was going to be so many changes coming into this squad. But I think after the embarrassment of what was the Guardianes exit and kind of things that were hinging around the club with all these injuries and everything like that, that we're kind of forced into kind of doing this cleanse of a squad. But I do want to reiterate this, and I don't think we've touched upon this, Christian. None of this is ever going to go forward if we don't sell anyone.
Yes, no, 100%. And that's a good thing I want to point out too. A lot of people are asking for this foreigner or that foreigner. Like Ivan just mentioned, it's going to be almost next to impossible to get anyone if we don't sell. We did Paul Aguilar. Up next seems to be Barguen, seems to be Luis Reyes, Roger Martinez. Emmanuel Aguilera might not renew his contract, so he might be on his way out. And all these just little players that are here that fill up the squad, they need to leave in order for people to come in. So, Ivan, that's a really good point you make. So I think before you see any more people come in, people have to exit as well. So, like I said, and follow us on Eagle Eye Podcast. Every single day there is something new, and we all try our best to keep you guys informed. with the most accurate news out there. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I have right now on transfers. And then just one little thing, I think this is worth talking about. Earlier in the year, we talked about Nico Castillo and his possibility of never returning to the pitch, saying how his injury was very complex, very life threatening in a sense. Got to a point where he was in the critical point of his life. Thank God for everything that's ever happened to him and every doctor that was with him every step of the way. His surgery in Atlanta went well. And it seems like he's on the road to recovery, even so that he posted on Instagram earlier today that he will be back on the pitch in February. Now, while that's a stretch or not, I don't believe he will play in the upcoming season. But what I do think might happen is he will maybe rejoin the squad for a couple of practice sessions, trying to see where he's at, trying to get his rhythm back. But it's almost next to impossible that I think we see him in this Clausura season. Now, the question is to everyone here in this chat and to obviously Ivan and AJ, Nico Castillo. First of all, thoughts on him coming back, possibly coming back, and two, do you think he could be a good addition for, let's just say, the Apertura of 2021?
I'll quickly just go. I think he would be a great introduction back into the squad because, like, I think we talked about this, Christian. Viñas and Henry know that they're both the starters of the team, and they don't really see anyone coming for their spot. So it would add some really good competition, and we know Piojo likes internal competition. It brings the best out of his players, and we've seen that from time to time. But I am very skeptical. We need to see how his recovery goes, and we need to see how this injury, is it 100% gone, or is there a possibility of coming back? And AJ will have maybe a little bit more information on this. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I'm just saying this. I'm not setting the bar too high for Castillo, and I'm definitely not getting my hopes up. We'll take it day by day, and we'll see if he's ready to go for the start of the Apertura next year. Then by all means, he'd be a great addition. But if not, then again, I think this is a conversation we've had, and it's time to look elsewhere. Mm-hmm. AJ.
Yeah. I was just thinking, through Eric, in the medical viewpoints, what Nico Castillo has gone through, to have a blood clot pretty much in that leg, that's seriously life threatening. Thank God everything went well. It's gone. But then after hearing something like that, for me personally, it sounds controversial. I think maybe he just shouldn't play anymore. If something like that does happen in a career, we know we've seen things like this in the world of football where players do come back stronger, which is always nice to see. But from something like this, I think, I don't know. Just I think for the safe bet for me, I just feel he should just retire for good. Because considering if he's saying he's trying to be back on the pitch early, I'm kind of I don't think you could come that early back to the pitch from a surgery like this and someone you've been out for months. So just it's a big risk to take. Really, if he could come back from all this, great. He'd be a great addition to this team. Take off some of the weight from Viñas and Henry Martin, give them a break. But then seeing the other side of it, I just feel it's just too risky. And I just feel I don't know. I think he's just better off just hang the boots up, call it a day, and just enjoy the rest of his life without having to worry something like this potentially happening again on football.
Right. Okay. No, definitely. I definitely agree with both of you. First of all, health comes first, football after. Just before we get off the transfer topic, I want to answer that one last question. Santi Cáceres, we'll wait until the end of the CONCACAF Champions League to see what happens with him. Piojo wants him 6 more months. But the directiva thinks it's time to loan him back, to give him back. So we'll see his performance in the Champions League, and then we'll take it from there. Most of these things will finalize after our participation, whether we become champions or get eliminated early. That's when we'll see a lot of these deals get finalized or dismissed. So, like I said, guys, please follow us on Eagle Eye Podcast for everything. Copa America, on transfer rumors, on Nico Castillo, on literally anything. So, thank you guys for listening to this segment.
Yes, definitely. Thank you guys so much. And thank you to Christian, who is, like you mentioned, staying up all day and all night trying to keep up to date with everything going in and around. And he's making himself quite the contacts in and around the world of America. So make sure you guys stay tuned here on the Eagle Eye Podcast. We'll have you guys up to date with everything that happens within the club, both men's and ladies, because we've had some movements, AJ, within the ladies as well. And so we'll definitely get to that some later time in another podcast when we do preview the ladies season. But like Christian mentioned, we have a lot of stuff that might be potentially happening, but we have to wait and see what happens. And again, this is kind of quite unfortunate for America, because this will all kind of eventually lead to just a week or days before the start of the season where everything's going to get kind of just finalized. And again, that's not exactly how you want to be coming into the season, because again, the problems with gelling the team and incorporating new players, and add on top of that all this COVID stuff. It'll be an interesting challenge for America for sure. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Christian, what are the possibilities of anything happening within this week of Champions League?
Very slim. If anything, I think we'd see a departure rather than an arrival. But like I said though, it's very slim. I think we're just gonna have to wait to see after our participation in the Champions League.
Completely agree. Anything else to add on before we move on?
No, that's pretty much it. I'm excited to talk about our upcoming match, and then we'll give a little news around the tournament, because it's important to see the other keys and potential opponents afterwards.
Definitely. Well, we'll get into the whole CONCACAF Champions League in just a moment. We just want to remind you guys that today's episode is brought to you guys by Foot Cult. Want to give a huge shout out to our partners out over in Foot Cult. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you check them out for this holiday season. You guys can get your beloved ones anything from that site and get 10% off if you guys use the discount code at checkout EEP to get 10% off. Again, they make some great gear like these beautiful polos that we have on today, as you guys mentioned earlier, synchronizing in the uniform as we always try to do. And then of course, they have some great content out as well in regards to America. They have some you can attest to this, a beautiful Cuauhtemoc Blanco jacket. They're gonna bring out a couple more stuff. There's plenty of stuff for all Americanistas in and around the site of Foot Cult. And again, our partners are doing amazing things, and we just kind of want to support them, help them throughout this holiday season, and continue to help in any way that we can. And of course, expose and grow the brand in that same aspect. Again, thank you to our sponsors, Foot Cult, for making this happen, and use discount code EEP at checkout to get 10% off. All right, gentlemen, we thought we'd be on vacation, but no, we have CONCACAF Champions to talk about. We have one last week before we can actually call it, or maybe even shorter than a week. We'll have to wait to see what America is able to pull off. But a lot of news in and around this actual competition, Christian. As many of you guys already know, Orlando is the bubble for this tournament. Actually, it's in the home ground of Orlando City, so we'll be playing in their stadium. But I mean, you know what? I think it should be for a promising tournament. I think America definitely needs to win this tournament if they want to salvage anything of this past season. And that is not to say that if America does end up winning this competition, that it means that they've completely just erased everything that happened in the Guardianes. By no means necessary, but it definitely will help them kind of, make it more into a little bit more of a blemish than an actual fracaso. But gentlemen, how are we coming into this competition? And then we'll get into the news surrounding the team in regards to what we can expect on the field.
I go first.
Sure, anyone.
Go for it.
I don't know. I feel like this team feels like a bit like of a complete mess. Like we're just scattered all over the place, especially after the disappointing exit in the Liguilla. Then you get the injuries and then players getting with COVID. It's one of those things where it's just like we made it here, where we have like a roster where it's just like it has some America fans in doubt. Others, they're pretty confident in this team. It's like we're gonna win. We're gonna win this tournament and get ourselves another CONCACAF trophy into our cabinets. But it's one of those things. It's like, who knows? Maybe this team can be the team that does it and win all, despite with everything that this team has come through. Remember, we finished third in the Liguilla, if I'm not mistaken. I'm in the league with the team that we lost Bruno Valles. We lost important key players to COVID and other injuries. So I feel like, I'm slightly worried, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like this team could give teams a surprise because remember, with the new CONCACAF changes and whatnot, it's just single games instead of two games in legs. So I just feel like they can do something. It's just 3 games really we got to get through. We can get through those 3 games. Wepa, you got yourself the trophy right there. So, it'll be exciting just to see how this team is going to perform in this tournament. They look shaky, but I feel like all in all, I feel like the team looks like they're good. They're confident, and with the lineup that we'll be talking about in this upcoming preview, I feel like this team is ready for it, for whatever they're throwing at in this tournament.
Definitely, Christian.
No, definitely. I agree with AJ there. I think this is an important tournament for America, not only to kind of alleviate what was done in the Guardianes tournament, but to kind of just install some confidence in this squad. I think that they're lacking on that, especially because of what they just went through against Chivas. So definitely winning this tournament can reinstall some confidence in this team, and confidence in Piojo to kind of get the squad back going. So and definitely confidence in the fans that this team can still compete with the best in Mexico. So definitely looking forward to this tournament. Like AJ said, a very interesting format we have for the remainder of this edition. So yeah, definitely looking forward for it.
I think you hit on a very good word right there, confidence. And we'll talk about in regards to this starting 11 and what we could potentially see and what these players who are going to be potentially lining up, why they're going to be there. Because, I mean, yes, we're up 3-0 and Piojo could have taken the conservative route. But like you mentioned, Christian, confidence is at an all-time low for this squad. And even if you're up by 3 goals, I think it definitely helps you to go out there and prove a point, really. So we'll talk about team news. We'll talk about starting 11s in just a little bit. But let's talk about these kind of injuries that have continued to plague us yet again, even in a new competition over in the CONCACAF Champions League. Christian, talk to me about all these 4 players that are out due to COVID, and then give me the remaining players that will also be out due to injury.
Okay, so we'll start with the COVID players. Henry Martin, Mauro Lainez, Emilio Sanchez, also Gonzalez, all out with COVID. It was almost rumored as well that Viñas was going to be out with COVID because his test didn't get through. So people thought, oh my God, he has COVID. Don't worry about it. The results just got back a couple hours ago. He is set and ready to go tomorrow. So no Viñas, but no Viñas on the COVID list. Henry, Mauro, Emilio, and also are on the COVID list. Injury list. Aguilera and Bruno Valdez were already known prior to the start of this tournament. Gio is also out due to injury. Picked it up during his matches against Chivas, and then I think it was a practice afterwards as well, where it really got to the point where he couldn't participate. And then Benedetti as well. Benedetti actually got injured during the match, during the second leg of Chivas in the last 10 minutes, where he couldn't even walk anymore. There's nothing serious. It just seems like he kind of just pulled something. He was ready to go, but I think Piojo took the precaution of not bringing him here and giving him that extra 3 weeks of rest in order to get really 100% back for the next season. So those are the 4 players that are not coming due to injury. 8 players in total. That's a lot of players.
That is a lot of players. That is a boatload of
that's
players.
basically almost, if you really want to put it, that's 1, 2, 3. That could be 5 starters right there.
Yeah, literally.
It really could be 5 starters right there. Yeah.
Jesus, that is a lot of players. And again, America, I think, is the team that's going to be plagued with the most injuries coming into this championship, into this CONCACAF Champions. So again, it's an uphill battle just from the get-go. But fortunately enough, 9 months prior to this competition, 9 months prior to this game, we had already taken care of business at home against Atlanta United, giving us a 3-goal cushion lead. Gentlemen, before we actually start diving into the game, what are the expectations for America? And I know the easy question is to win the competition, but how, in what way, and what do we want to see from this America side in regards to just lifting the trophy? Because I think that's the most basic answer out of this. I think we have to get a little bit more complex and say, well, America needs to do this and America needs to do that. And yes, we understand that the injuries are very severe in regards to how many there are. But again, you're America, you have some really good players still left at your disposal, and seeing everything else on paper, I mean, you're still as one of those favorites to lift that trophy. So, Gentlemen, talk to me just briefly about this competition. What do we expect from America? Not just the title, but what more do we demand?
America needs eggs, but in Spanish translation. That is something that I think we all want this team to kind of just showcase in these hopefully 3 games. And I think it's very important, like we were talking about earlier, just the confidence, to kind of install that confidence back in the squad. And if they can come into this tournament and show that those eggs then I think it'll do good for us, and it'll just tell everyone that's remaining in the tournament. It'll tell Piojo, it'll tell the fans that we know we messed up. We know we didn't showcase. We know we didn't represent the institution like it deserves to be represented. I'm gonna go out here and hopefully in this week I can get you guys another trophy, and then from then we'll tackle the next season. So that's definitely what I want to see, and hopefully these 3 games.
AJ?
It's the redemption arc really for America. After a disappointing end to the season, this is pretty much the tournament where it's like we can add another trophy cabinet. Does not another trophy to our trophy cabinet. It does not necessarily mean that we're gonna wipe away all the mistakes that we did in the season. We did our objective in winning CONCACAF, but that's motivation right there to say we can win this. We can definitely go harder next season and win a league title and do better. With everything that we've gone through, we can do anything. Just keep that confidence going. It's gonna take you very far into this tournament, into anything if you're having confidence. Even in the darkest times, if you have confidence, it's all you need to get through a tournament and to help you win it.
Okay. I agree with both of you. I think there's definitely, like AJ mentioned it, a redemption arc. But we know that at the end of the day, even lifting that trophy, there still be very much questions surrounding some of these players and definitely this club and the manager. But okay, gentlemen, let's talk about the game tomorrow against Atlanta United. Easily winning this game 3-0, although we've seen in just prior games that a goal margin, even a goal margin of 4-0, can be easily reverted if you're not on your A game. And Christian, we mentioned a little bit about this confidence earlier on in the show. Talk to me about this potential starting 11 that's been heavily rumored, and talk to me as to why some of these players are definitely starting and not getting the rest. For example, maybe Aviñas, a Córdoba, a George Sanchez, and maybe even an Ochoa.
Definitely. So we'll just go on with the starting 11 that I think will happen at the beginning of this tournament. Piojo said that he'll use Jimenez as the keeper for the whole tournament. I hopefully don't expect that to change, but then again, it's Piojo and we never know. So we'll just stick with this word. We'll just say that Piojo's a man of his word, and we'll have Jimenez in net. The back four: Jorge Sanchez, Sebastián Cáceres, Ramón Juárez, and Luis Fuentes. In the midfield, Richard Sanchez and Santi Cáceres on one wing, Alonso Escobosa on the other wing, Leo Suarez. Playing in that can spot, Sebastián Córdoba, and then up top, Federico Viñas.
Okay, interesting. I think Memo starts tomorrow.
Okay.
I think he's
not a man of his word.
He needs to put out his strongest starting 11 out there possible. Okay. And I think it has to start. It's showcase, and Memo's your captain.
Okay.
I mean, aside from him, it was Bruno.
True.
So I think Memo has to start. He's your captain. He has to go. But AJ, the starting 11 that we just mentioned, whether it's Jimenez or Ochoa, at the end of the day, the rest of the 10 players don't really seem to change in regards to what America has at their disposal. How do you feel about it?
Mixed opinions, but at the same time, I'm seeing why we're doing this, because we have a lead, a comfortable 3-0 lead, but anything can happen in the 90 minutes where we could be looking good, and the next thing you know, bad things happen and we just start crumbling down. But I feel like with this line, I'd see why. We are seeing some players like Jimenez getting the start. We're seeing Alonso Escobosa. We're seeing him on the wings again, which is surprising. You get to see Leo Suarez. You get to see Ramon Juarez. So it's like, hearing that lineup, I mean, hey, see what they can do. It's been a while since we last played, since getting eliminated from the league yet. So I guess this is the game where it's just like, let's get something going, see how the players are feeling in the first half. If anything happens to ever change in the second half, Piojo will do everything to his ability to put in the players that are necessary in order to strengthen that position up for the second half and to not, hopefully not make too many mistakes. But knowing how America are at the moment, things are looking shaky, but I feel like if Piojo puts this lineup for a reason against Atlanta United, we will have to assume he knows what he's doing with this, and we are hoping in this game that it does not backfire at all. So hearing this, I'm fine with this. I'm fine with this lineup.
Okay, I like it. Okay. Again, I think we mentioned the confidence thing. I think this is why Viñas is starting. I think this is why you have Córdoba starting. These are players that I think need to get back into the rhythm of things. And if that's the case, then, we need to see a couple goals from them tomorrow night. You know, it definitely will spring them into action, and definitely, like you mentioned, Christian, will kind of give a boost of morale throughout the whole squad that will then rally and take us into the next round. So we'll have to wait and see. But what does America need to do? Let me rephrase that. What does America not need to do against Atlanta United? We mentioned this 3-0 comfortable lead, but AJ talked about it. Anything is possible within these 90 minutes. What does America need to do in order to kind of cement their kind of pass into the semifinals? I think the simplest answer to that question is to get a goal. But what more do we need to see out on the pitch?
Well, let's take it by piece. I think it's very important that we do this. In the first, I want to say 15 minutes, Atlanta United will come at you with everything because they need to score 3 goals. That's just a given. They need at least 3 when they can't allow 1. So from minute 1, they're gonna have to go out and attack. Now, what America needs to do is try to absorb, and I think that's what he put in Escobosa to kind of almost create a line of 5, in a sense, and then try to absorb that pressure. Now, do I like the strategy? No, because you're just giving the ball to Atlanta and letting them have a chance to kind of get back into this and to get back into this tie. After those 10-15 minutes, that's when America needs to start implementing their game plan. They need to be the one to get the ball control. They need to be the one creating the plays and making things happen. And like Ivan said, that goal is key. If America makes that goal, Atlanta would need 5 goals to advance to the next round. So I think if America gets the first goal in the first half, I think I don't want to call it yet, but I think we're in a very, very comfortable position to go on to the next round.
Isn't that crazy that if America if they end up scoring a goal in the first half, that's 5 goals that still need to be conceded, yet we're still not comfortable enough with this defense to say that is GG.
Yes, exactly. So, and I am correct, right? If America does make one,
because there's an away rule. There's an
Yes.
away goal rule for this game only.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So yeah, that's definitely the plan. Absorb for the first 10 minutes, even though I don't like that strategy, but I think it's necessary for just for the first 10 minutes. After that, go out, use the pieces that you have on the field. You're gonna have a pacey Leo Suarez going down the wings. You're gonna have a Cordova that can make you a play or two. Escobosa is known to kind of sneak behind the defenders and maybe get a cross for Viñas. So use what you have at your disposal. Try to get the best out of it and just get that goal. Ivan, you put it perfectly. America just need that 1 goal, and it's 99% there. So I think that's the plan for tomorrow.
I agree. AJ?
For the love that is all holy, I would just like for this defense to not concede goals right from the get-go. Otherwise, it's going to be a thing where we put the aggregate score and it says images that precede unfortunate events.
Yeah.
Because I really do not want America to mess this lead up. But like we mentioned before, it's 90 minutes of football. Anything can happen. Both teams haven't played football in a while, so it's gonna be one of those games. It's like these two teams are gonna get themselves situated. It's really a game to like who can get the first goal in. If America gets that first goal in, it makes everything really complicated for Atlanta United to get those goals. But even just with the 1 goal, I feel like America should be able to get another goal in. And then at that point, I can then say, we got this. We're fine. Just let the players do their thing and do what they need to do throughout the rest of the match. If Atlanta does happen to get the first goal in the match like early on or at any point in the first half, that's going to need to be America's wake-up call where it's like, do not mess this up. We got a lead. We would like to extend this lead or keep this lead the way that it is and do not mess up any further. So I really like the midfield and forwards, I'm not actually really completely worried about. It's just the defense is the only thing I'm truly worried about. Because some of those players, they need to come up big. And with everything that we've gone through, we have no Emma. We're having my boy Paolo Maldini Jr. in that center back role at Ramon Juarez. And then left back, we got Luis Fuentes, where pretty much any dude that can essentially sprint is going to leave Luis Fuentes for dead. So at that point, it's just really they need to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Cáceres and then Jorge Sanchez, they're going to essentially be fine this because I feel like there should be little to no problems with them. It's just really the left back and the center back is what I'm worried about. And then there's Jimenez too. It's just the case where it's just like, you haven't played in a while. I'm pretty sure he's playing, right? Just to make sure. Jimenez
I mean,
starting.
it hasn't been confirmed.
It's a toss-up, yeah.
Christian's going, Jimenez, I'm going Ochoa.
Yeah.
So for anything in those cases, for any of those 2 goalkeepers, they haven't played in some time since then, but it's pretty much get yourself situated. Do not let your guard down. So it's really defense. got to step up. They could step up. I feel like we'll be fine throughout the rest of this game.
And I think it's just what AJ mentioned right now, Christian, why I think Memo's starting. Because Jimenez has been inactive for a little bit. And I just feel like inside Piojo's like, I can't risk bottling it the way that Cruz Azul did. He's like, I gotta put in my best starting 11.
Yeah.
So I think and he has to go.
Yeah, no, I hear you, definitely. And then and you know he'll get crucified if some reason we do end up losing the tie. And we do have players that are not technically supposed to be there in a sense. Then you know he's gonna get crucified, and then we may see the end of Piojo there. But
that would definitely be the end of
exactly.
I'll put it out right now. Put this on air right now. If Piojo loses tomorrow against Atlanta United and we do not advance into the semifinals, he's gone.
Okay.
There's no way you keep him after that.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I think we hit on all points. I think this should be an exciting match for once. AJ, if you could do me a favor, just pull up the last Atlanta United starting 11 they have. And just and then when you do that, I'll give you time to do that. Then I think we just 2 players we need to talk about, Ivan. Jurgen Damm, obviously we're very familiar with him. He was talking to many reporters last night, saying that he believes in the squad. The squad believes that they can turn this tie around, and he believes that obviously that his team will come back and win 3-0. That's one player that I think we need to look out for. We know his capabilities. We're very familiar with him. I think another player we mentioned, Ivan, is Ezekiel Barco. This is a young player who has a lot of weight on his shoulders due to him kind of being the last of the big 3 trilogy that they had. And I think all eyes are on him to kind of make this team kind of spark tomorrow. So just quick thoughts on Jurgen, and then on Ezekiel Barco. We'll wait for AJ to get us that information.
Yeah, definitely. And I think before we address those 2 names, I think we have to talk about 2 names that won't be on the pitch.
Okay, yeah, we'll go that. Yeah.
They won't have Joseph Martinez, which is their talisman, and they don't have a PT Martinez that is no longer in the squad. That was, as you mentioned, Christian, causing us so much trouble in the second half at the Estadio Azteca 9 months ago. So that's huge. As if America didn't need more of a morale boost, they don't have their 2 best players on the pitch anymore because one got transferred out and the other one, unfortunately, is out due to an injury. So they're pretty much dampened as they are. I mean, you look at their midfield, and it's not to take anything away from them. It's not to talk down on them because, of course, shout out to our boys from the Home Before Dark podcast over in Atlanta. I think they would agree that I don't think they have the strongest midfield. I mean, you're looking at a team that is composed of wingers like Edgar Castillo, who will be going up against his old team in America.
And then just one thing as well. I don't think they have a coach right now. I think they're playing with the interim coach because the board got sacked. And they're looking for a new one. I mean, they're rumored to have one by the end of this week, but they still don't have a coach. I'm almost 100% sure they almost have a coach. So if they want any more boost out of everything, they don't even have a coach yet. They don't even have a coach yet.
They're showing up on to 15 minutes before the game starts with the credenciales out, trying to see all right, you're gonna go here, Barco. You're gonna go here.
Exactly. Just Sunday league with their IDs and stuff. Beautiful. Wait, does anyone know what I'm talking about? You have to before you left Sunday, you have to get an ID.
Yeah, you get your coach, and the coach
literally 5 minutes before the game lays them all out on the floor and says, "Okay, you go here and you go there," and then that's how we're gonna do this.
Puts in the most Sunday league formation, which is the 4-3-3 in a sense, but it's it's a stopper and a sweeper, and I never understood why we even played that. I was like, it makes no sense.
That's great, dude. That's great.
But yeah, no, going back to your original question, I think Jurgen, I think Fuentes can keep him on check. I think he's smart enough to realize that, this is a kid that had a lot of potential, but it, didn't amount to it. He has pace, but once you're at Fuentes' age and with his experience, I would hope that he knows how to play more, smarter than Jurgen. So I do see that Fuentes could have a pretty good game. And I think that's why we see Escobosa play there as well. Kind of the same thing going back to that Chivas game when we played them in the first leg. It was trying to combat that Antuna kind of Brizuela speed on that wing. It was so that Fuentes had some kind of reinforcement with Escobosa, who was willing to go down and defend, unlike maybe an Ibargüen or Roger. But I think we can keep him on check. Barco though, I think he has a chip on his shoulder. I think he has a lot to prove. I think he wants out of Atlanta, and I think he needs to demonstrate it on the pitch. And I think whenever you play against America, even in a pandemic, everyone's got their eyes on you in that game. So if if he can show up on that night, and if he could be the main responsible player for turning the tide, then I think he's definitely going to try to do that. But I do feel that Barco is kind of going to be our main threat. But I am looking forward to that battle between him and George Sanchez. I know I've been very heavy critical of him, but if he's able to pull off and kind of keep Barco in his pocket, it just goes to show that George is definitely at a level that we expect him to be at.
Okay, so AJ, I'm assuming you have the information I asked for. So can you please just read off the last Atlanta United starting 11?
Yep. They had Brad Guzan at goal, and their 5 defenders was Brooke Lennon, Jeff Laurentowicz, Fernando Mesa, Anton Walks, Jake Mulroney. Then their midfield was consistent of Mo Adams, Eric Remedi, Emerson Hinman, and then the 2 guys up front is Ezekiel Barco and Pity Martinez, which Pity Martinez is no longer on Atlanta United since he went to go to play in Saudi Arabia.
Beautiful.
So probably see Torres play.
So yes, that's true. Also, one thing to key there. Also, Brooks Lennon will not be playing as well because he had surgery, I think, a couple weeks ago. So Lennon will not be playing. That's interesting. Another player that we're familiar with, Mesa. He's gonna be there. I'm pretty sure, starting as center back. We're familiar with him as well. Last time I remember, I'm pretty sure Bello was one of their kids rising up from the ranks. They speak very highly of him. Remedi is a very good CDM.
Heinemann too.
Yes. Yeah, you said Heidman, right? Yeah, Heinemann as well. Yes. So it's very interesting. They could go with a couple formations here. They can go with the 2 striker system, like you said, with Lopez and Cubo Torres up top, or they can just leave one of them on top and kind of play a 4-3-3. So it all depends how this coach, which I don't know who their coach is because I don't think they even have one right now. So AJ, if you can start at least figure it out for us because we're kind of struggling here with that. Interesting to see what they go out with. Now I'm assuming they go with a 2 striker formation only because they need the goals, obviously. And it seems that they're more comfortable playing in that formation. Even though they didn't have the best year, it just seems that that's what clicks when they're on form. So it seems very possible that they will go with two strikers tomorrow. So we could possibly see Cubo Torres and Lopez tomorrow.
Which would be interesting. At the end of the day, though, I think what we're saying is, look, this Atlanta side by no means necessary is still a walk in the park for America. The job still has to get done within 90 minutes, and they have players that could maybe try to flip it around if America is not on their A game. I mean, you're looking at players like Ramon Juarez and Sebastian Cáceres to really cement themselves in the starting position role that could potentially be theirs. Bruno's going to be gone for the remaining of this whole, clausura. It looks like he'll be back maybe, towards the end of it.
Mid-March.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have a good chance to cement a starting spot. Aguilera looks like he won't be back. So, it's really up there for their taking. We know that they're capable of it, and what better way than to do it against Atlanta? So you have to go out there. I think AJ put it in very good words. The most important thing out of this game is a clean sheet. You have to walk away with a clean sheet. I think that just boosts overall confidence, not just in the defense, but the team overall. Because at the end of the day, if we sit here and we watch a boring 0-0, at the end of the day, people will criticize the game, but I think all 3 of us will sit there and think, okay, the objective was the clean sheet, and we got it.
Right.
But how they get the clean sheet's the question. Was it a good way to get the clean sheet, or was it like a really bad way of
Hold on. But at this point, do we even care at this point?
We just take anything.
We just take the clean sheet.
We move on. That's all that matters.
It doesn't matter, AJ. We just take the clean sheet, okay?
All right, really quick. AJ, do they have a coach or do they not have a coach?
Yes, they do have a coach.
Who's the coach?
Gabriel Hines. He's on for PSG, Man U.
Incorrect. That is not their coach. That is rumored to be their coach.
That's their coach, though.
That is rumored to be their coach. So what that says to me is that they don't have a real coach right now. It's just going with interims for right now.
If that's the case, then yeah.
Okay, so that's where we are with that. But like Ivan said, though, not a walk in the park. There's still work to be done in 90 minutes. Hopefully, we can get it done much earlier than that. But yeah, no, nonetheless, though, it should be a very, very fun game. I'm excited to see some of these names step up. Juarez is one of them. Cordova, and he needs to have a really good game to kind of make up for whatever he did against Chivas or what he didn't do. Leo Suarez, another one. He had a great performance against them in the first leg. Let's repeat that again. And then Viñas, let's go, Viñas. It's your time, man. Come on. It's time to show us, why we call you Maraviñas.
Definitely. I think Viñas at least 2 goals. That's all we ask, Viñas. 2 goals. Shouldn't be that hard for you, especially if they're playing with a back 3. Jesus Christ. It should not be that hard. But again, we'll see. It's not us trying to discredit anything that Atlanta United has done or maybe will do. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, we've given you guys all the facts and we've presented everything. America should be just blowing them out of the water in this situation, even with the squad that we have. And that should say a lot because we have Escobosa on the wing. All right, guys? Mm-hmm. That should tell you everything. But all right, then. I think that pretty much wraps it up in regards to that game, in regards to all things CONCACAF Champions. We'll be back again this week. Yes, again, this week we'll be talking about America in CONCACAF Champions, hopefully in the semifinals prior to the game on Saturday, which, of course, is going to be quite a special Saturday for some of us here on the Eagle Eye Podcast. All righty, then. But we'll tell you guys more about that, all of that, a little bit later on during the week. Anything else you guys want to say before we wrap it up here?
No, well, I'll go first. Just one thing. Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. It was pretty nice to see that everyone, just came together and just talked for Club America for a little while. It means a lot to us. It's our motivation to keep going. To give you guys the best information possible, and for Club America in English. It's what we do. It's what we love to do. It just means a lot that you guys support us. So thank you once again.
Yes, very much. And AJ.
Might as well say it. You know what? Just for jokes, just put my boy Chucho Lopez in and watch him score a banger in the game against United, and then he'll cement his spot in this team forever. So that's all I gotta say.
A player that we didn't talk about, but it looks like he has rumors to be leaving to Spain.
What? Hey, let's go, champ.
So we'll see that development later on in the week. But okay, thank you again so much. Again, a reminder for you guys, tomorrow is the CONCACAF Champions quarterfinal game for America against Atlanta United. It's going to be live via through the end of that at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 7 Central, 10 Eastern. That is going to be kicking off America's start to this CONCACAF Champions. And we're very excited because we're debuting some new graphics. And so hopefully you guys enjoy them and let us know what you guys think. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much. And also a reminder, if you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys go and click on the link that we will be putting out. There you guys can go register. Club America have partnered up with Ticketon to give you guys official face masks to get you guys protected for throughout this whole COVID season. So make sure you guys go check that link out. We'll tweet it again a little bit later on. So if you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys follow us over on Twitter at EY Podcast. We'll keep you guys up to date with everything, all things a Las Águilas del América, and tomorrow's match minute by minute. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much again. Please be safe. Wear your mask. To everyone that came out today, Maria, Chris, Jose Sepulveda, Kevin Perez, Louis, Jimmy, to what was the Pokemon name, AJ? Sceptile. RDG, everyone really so much. If I've missed anyone, I completely am sorry. Again, to Mystic Monster, who's saying America takes the W tomorrow. Yes, hopefully. And we'll be here to talk all things in regards to that W if it does end up happening. Again, stay safe, everyone. We'll see you guys. We'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Until next time, take care. As always, please wear your mask, stay safe, and Arriba la America. We'll see you guys next week. Well, not next week. This week. Bye.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was another production of the Eagle Eye Podcast, the #1 source for all things Club America in English. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Eagle Eye Podcast and get all the latest news and coverage. And subscribe to our podcast wherever it is you may listen.